if you love talking to singles, you'll love seeing the singles you're talking to live at the internet address on the screen. That's right. Go to the internet address on your screen and you'll connect live to the same people you're seeing on the show. Not pictures, not videos, but see and chat live to Veronica. See and chat live to Carlos. It's dial a date uncensored, unrestricted, uncut. Especially the guys. Anything goes, even their clothes. And it rhymes. So go to the internet address on your screen. Run to your computer. Run to your bookstore's computer. Your office computer. Your friend's computer. You gotta see dial a date uncensored with hot girls, hot guys, live, uncensored, unrestricted. Anything goes, even their clothes. David. It rhymes.
Toronto. VK on the beat. Check. I'm in Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm from Toronto where you wanna get the city love. I'm in Toronto like we wanna get the city love. My city love me back for my city love.
Welcome to episode 1839 of Toronto Mic'd, an award-winning podcast proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery. Order online at greatlakesbeer.com for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Visit palmapasta.com for more. Fusion Corp's own Nick Iones. He's the host of Building Toronto Skyline and Building Success, two podcasts that you ought to listen to. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. And Ridley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. Joining me today, making his Toronto Mic'd debut, it's the Prince of Love, David Bronstein.
Do you see me?
Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
I can't believe I figured this out.
Well, you look good and you sound good, so that's two for
Great.
two, buddy.
Yes, thank you. Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're always rolling here on Toronto Mic'd. I'm just glad we could do this because I know we tried to do it last week.
Yes, I was scheduled and I was booked and I was ready to go. And then my business partner from Bagel Plus, "Could you get over to Bagel Plus right away? We got to shoot a tuna sandwich," or whatever he wanted me to do. So I said yes. I ran over there. And then with all the weather and the bullshit, I thought, I'll take an Uber because I don't know where I'm going. Where I might have to go to Hawaii if I go to Etobicoke. It's the same thing to me. I don't know where it is. But there was so much going. I said, I'll just go on a train because it'll be faster. But we all know what happened then.
Well, I replaced you with some guy named Kire Paputt. You ever heard of him?
Yes. And I haven't listened to the podcast, but when did you do it? The one, Where's David Bronstein? When did you do it?
Well, so you were scheduled for 2.
Yes.
And then I kept, at 3:00, you're like, oh, I'm on my way to Islington or whatever.
I was at Islington. Yes, correct.
Yeah. And then I realized, you're really late. Like, I'm okay. I understand with weather and stuff. Sometimes people are like 10, 15 minutes late, but I'm like, this guy's going to be like, 90 minutes late. I simply didn't have time. So I'm like, I was like needing to like vent about you. So I called up my buddy Kire and we just did an episode like, what the fuck happened to David Bronstein?
Did you have, if you had said to me, Dave, I only have this window open, we would have, I wouldn't have known. I would have scheduled it for another time, knowing how long it took me to get there. I didn't know that.
Okay. And again, I'm not mad anymore. And I'm like excited and honored that you're here right now, that we're going to do this by Zoom. But so what's the deal? Like basically when the bagel guy calls, all other plans get aborted. Is that the deal?
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to set the record straight because we had a 2:00, but in your world, that could mean I'll roll in at like 3:30.
No. I knew I was scheduled to leave I figured it'll take an hour. I figured because I don't know where I'm going to. So I figured 2:00. I'll leave at 12:30, and I was going to take an Uber there because I don't know where I'm going. But he called at that time, so I rushed over there to do that quick TikTok because they pay me a lot of cash.
Well, listen, money talks, and
Yes.
I get it, man. I get it. And I'm not, again, I talked to my therapist. My anger with you, it's really anger, misdirected anger at my father. I understand this now. But I'm glad you're here. But can you tell me, just so we do this off the top, how do you know Kire Paputt?
Who's Kire Paputt? I know. Is that his last name? Because I call him, I don't even know how to call him. Kire, Kyrie, Tuku. I don't know.
See, I say Kire Paputt because I feel like early on, that's what he told me is the proper pronunciation. But I mean, instinctively, I'd call him like Kire Paputt.
I've never called him by his last name because I don't know how to pronounce it. So I call him. I used to call. I don't know what Kire.
How did you meet him?
Here's the answer to your question.
Yeah.
He got in touch with me 2, 3, 4 years ago. He was a fan of mine from my late night dating shows, and he was producing a movie called The Last Porno Show.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to appear in it. And he came up to my neighborhood, and we discussed and I was flattered that he wanted me to appear in it. So that's how I know Kire.
And the way Kire explains it is like for this movie, which is called Junkie Run.
Yes.
He was assembling like his Avengers. Like you're a member of his Avengers.
Thank you.
So you're in Junkie Run, like maybe a little, because I want to like let the listenership know. There, if you go back to the episode called "Where's David Bronstein,"
Yes.
Kire and I talk quite a bit about this new film that he made called Junkie Run, which I loved. You're great in it, so maybe just a word or two before I get to my, important questions. Like, what was it like filming Junkie Run? How long did you work on it? Have you seen the movie? What do you think?
Those are a lot of questions. Here's the deal. Kire is a real pro.
Yeah.
And when I first did The Last Picture, I was called The Last Picture Show. He's Peter Bogdanovich. When I first did The Last Porno Show, and I went to the set, and we'll get to answer your question, there was a whole crew there. It was a big crew, and there was a scene where I'm in a movie theater, and a guy runs out, and popcorn goes all over the place. And after we shot that, and the assistant director would say, go back to ones. I mean, we're going to do it again. The crew, 1, 2, 3, they're pushing the popcorn. They're setting up the set. Everyone had a job to do, and they all knew their job. And they're all real pros in the movie business, where when I do my crazy shows, my informercials, whatever I do, nobody listens to anything I say. I have to do it all.
Right.
So to answer your question, when he asked me to be in Junkie Run, I knew it was going to be a huge professional deal, and it was. And there were trailers, and I had a dressing room, and I had makeup and costume and wardrobe. And it's working on a Hollywood set when you work with Kire and the executive producers there. They treated me like a star. It was hot outside when we shot in the summer of 2024, and they're holding an umbrella over me like I'm Brad Pitt. Oh, God forbid I should sweat. It was crazy.
Okay,
Holding an umbrella because of the sun, but I didn't say anything.
I love hearing this, man. Like, I mean, I'm a big fan of his work as well, and I know he doesn't have a big budget. So the fact that he's giving you this respect, and that's amazing. But this is all because he knows you from infomercials. Right.
Maybe he treats the other actors the same way. Every 2 minutes, Dave, you want a bottle of water? Dave, you want to Dave? Here's a chair. It was so hot outside, so they had this tent for the actors, me and my co-star, to sit in. I would tell my family, this is crazy how they're treating me. I was very flattered and honored, and it's a wonderful. And I want to work with him with other movies too, because he's great at what he does. He's very creative. Yes, he's great.
Do you know who his father is?
No, I met his dad, but I don't know. Other than meeting him, I don't know who his father is.
So, do you know the Vile Tones?
Wait,
the Vile Tones, a Toronto punk group. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes.
Well,
no, I know. There was another actress on the set that was talking to him. Do you know who I'm talking about? The other actress that was also a punk.
Yeah, Mickey Skin.
Mickey, yes.
Yeah.
Did they work together?
Yeah. Well, so Chris Haight is the chap from the Vile Tones. That's Kire's father. And so Kire comes by it honestly, and that's where Mickey Skin from The Curse, Mike Dent from The Dents, ignoring the call there, Mickey Sedatist and Chris Houston from the Forgotten Rebels, Teenage Head's first manager. Like, he's got a lot of cool punkers in there, and he's got you in there.
Oh, you're very kind. Thank you. Would all the Canadians know this group and all these characters?
No. But the cool cats know, and I'm speaking to the cool cats here. So I'll just tell the listeners if they can find a way to get to one of the, I think Gary Top has a screening. I guess you'll be at the Gary Top screening of the new film, Junkie Run.
I'll be at the one on February 15th. I'll be there.
Yeah, that's Gary Top presentation at the Paradise, and people should get tickets. Have you seen the movie?
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes. When you're making a movie, it's like shooting a puzzle. And even though I read the script and I met the actors, and the actors are real people, they're regular people like you and I. And then when I saw the trailer, before I saw the feature, the people that I worked with were regular people. And the characters on the screen or the trailer that I saw are two different people, whatever you call it. So when I saw the movie, I was there when they were shooting the, maybe I won't say too much, with the bad guys and the bar and the fighting. And I could have watched how they hired a stunt person to show the actors how to choke somebody, how to shoot somebody, how to fight. And I should have taken the time to watch all of that. But I did. It wasn't my scene, and I was in the holding area. But when I saw it on the screen, they're so real. It's unbelievable how Kire brings out that performance. And the cinematographer, hopefully they're not watching, I've got their names. Whoever was the crew. They're all so creative. It's a pleasure. They're professionals, and they're creative, and it's a pleasure to work with all of them.
Love it. Do you mind if we go back to the 80s for a moment?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, in the time machine with me, David. Let's go. Okay.
It's in my head already, yes.
Which moniker do you prefer? King of Late Night TV or the Prince of Love?
So the Prince of Love, I used to do stand-up comedy in the Catskill Mountains. And it was upstate New York, a big resort where I was part of a comedy team like Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin. And performing in these hotels, I was known as the Prince of Comedy. So when I came to Toronto and I had the idea for the late night dating shows, I just called it the Prince of Love based on that. And the shtick that I did, the comedy, the one-liners, it was the same act I did in the Catskills, but the girls were my straight men. And so people know me as the Prince of Love, and I call me the King of Late Night TV. It's moniker.
Okay, now what brings you to Toronto? Because if people can't tell from your voice, you're an American.
Yes, I'm from Philadelphia. And I met my wife in the Catskills. She was a guest, it was like Dirty Dancing, actually. The Catskills was like Dirty Dancing. And I was performing there, and she was a guest, and we fell in love and all that bullshit. and so I moved back to Philly, and I was going to New York, and my wife, we got married, living in Philly. I'm going to New York, going to cattle call auditions. And I'd be number 105 on the list. They're calling number 1. And my in-laws who lived in Toronto said, why don't you come to Toronto? They're making movies in every corner. This is a place to be. So I said, all right, I'll become a big fish in a small pond, and then I'll go to Hollywood. So that's why I came to Toronto.
I'm going to play 56 seconds of a clip that hopefully brings you back. You ready?
Yes.
Hi, I'm David Bronstein.
And I'm Alex Amini. And this is Toronto After Hours. And this is the famous Batmobile, another creature of the night and one of the jazzier features at this year's Canadian National Exhibition. David, give me the keys.
The keys? Alex, we can't drive this car off the lot.
Who's gonna know?
For our nocturnal prowl tonight, we're going to have to let our boots do the walking. Sounds like a song, probably never so. But not only boots, rides, but Ferris wheels, elephants, and so many other high-flying adventures.
And speaking of boots made for walking, we're gonna drop in on the Nancy Sinatras at the Cameron. Definitely no relation to Frank. And we're also off to see the Wizard.
Come to think of it, this whole show is retro. I mean, we're going to be seeing a musical about a 50s TV show, a movie about 60s and hippies.
So if we've got so much to do, let's get going. Give me the keys.
Do tell, David Bronstein, what the hell was that?
Here's the story. My agent was with the Edward G. agency at the time, and they got me the audition for this show called After Hours on CBC. And the producer was Steve Scanney. I don't know if anyone knows who Steve Scanney was, a sports producer. And they hired me right away. And then they had to find a female host that we had the same chemistry. So I had auditions with many female hosts, and then they hired Alex, who was on the show TNT with Mr. T.
Right.
And because she's a hot, tall model blonde, and I'm a short Jewish comic from the Catskills, they thought it would work well. And it was. And then Steve left the show to do another show, whatever he was doing. Then they brought in another producer who left the show. And then they brought in a female producer who hated my comedy. And she would say, Canadians don't like slapstick, don't like burlesque, don't like one-liners. They like subtle, cerebral humor. And I'd say, what's subtle, cerebral humor? I can't even say it. I don't know what it is. Subtle, cerebral humor. And they'd write in my scripts, no jokes, no funny lines, no faces, don't make any faces. And that's why the original producer hired me for that reason. And when the show first aired, Rita Zekas from the Toronto Star wrote, who's this pumpernickel on television? We usually see white bread. And the press was great. She was great. And her husband, I can't remember her name.
Rob Salem.
Yes, Rob Salem. And Antonia Zebedias, another
Zerbias.
critic.
Yeah, Antonia Zerbias. Yeah, these are all people who've been down here. Go ahead.
They were all wonderful to me. And when this other female producer started writing in my script, don't make faces, don't do jokes.
Who's there?
My wife.
She can go on camera if she wants, but please continue. I'm enjoying it.
She won't even call my TikToks. She won't even go in bed with me at night. But besides that, then they start writing, what happened to the pumpernickel? They noticed the shtick, and then after a year with that producer, they fired me. They said, you're fired. Because I couldn't help it. I'm a comic. And I think it's funny, Jonathan Winters, you know who Jonathan Winters is?
Of course.
He says, I could teach you to be funny. I could teach you to wear a little hat, a little mustache, fall on a banana peel, fall down a manhole cover, but I can't teach you to think funny. So I think funny. So when I'm at a high-end Chinese restaurant with Alex, and they're bringing all these dishes I never heard of, and I'm saying, what is this? And she's saying, this is Mugu Gai Pan, and this is what? And then I point to the bowl of rice. I say, what's that? And she hits me with a spoon. It's funny, When she says, this is okra, I said, isn't that a whale? She said, that's orca. So she knew how to play with me in that respect. But the producer, so when they fired me, in 6 months, the show was canceled. It was just Alex. It was Alex without David, and then the show. But that after that show, After Hours, I got a Doghouse, a series called Doghouse for USA Network. I played Lauren Glickman, a sleazy character, and there was an American show, and the producers were American, and they liked the day I had that audition, coming home on the subway, my wife called and said, you got the part. They called. That was very nice. I left Edward G. and I went with characters. Larry Goldhar, a character. I went with him. And then that show was canceled after the first season, Doghouse. Which, as crazy as it is, it has a following. My followers bring up Doghouse. All that said, so then after that, I wasn't getting any work as an actor And people say, but you're an American. You have an American accent. They're making American movies. You should be working all the time. And I would tell people my agent couldn't book Lassie into a kennel. Because I say, I should be working all the time. And he said, well, it's slow. Because my personality is I have instant gratification. I have to have it right now. I said, I can't wait for somebody to hire me. I'll produce my own shows and I'll star in them. So that's how I had the idea for the late night dating show. I was in bed with my wife. I think it was my wife. I was not watching this. And Nia People's Party Machine was on. It was right after Arsenio Hall.
Right.
And they had these hot, sexy girls on television dancing. And I said to Andrea, there should be a phone number to chat with those girls. So I had the idea, but I'm not a tech guy. Technology is my Achilles heel. So I don't know how to have technology. They had 976 numbers then in the Toronto Sun, phone sex, whatever that was. But I didn't know how to do that. But I knew how to get it on television because I got all the experience of after hours because we would go to clubs and bars with a crew and they would shoot and they would edit. So I learned how to do that from after hours. So I would pitch my idea to guys that had 976 numbers and they were just booking ads in print. And they would pay me $10,000 to produce a dating show, Love and Passion, Night Encounters, Night and Passion, bullshit names with me doing my shtick. And they're supposed to give me a piece of the action because that's where the real money's at. Right. But I never got a piece of the action. So every guy would screw me because they couldn't believe the money they were making when they would put it on television. So as I'd go from one entrepreneur to the next entrepreneur to the next entrepreneur, the guy I was booking airtime from Rogers Cable said, stop making money for everybody else. Let's form this partnership. I'll take $40,000 from my house and we'll set up a company called B&W Entertainment, Bronstein and Wells. And we're standing on the corner of Young and Charles. And he said, we're going to be the biggest infomercial company in Canada. And you have dreams and aspirations and you want success. And you hope, but you say, okay, yeah, sure. And I produced the first show for $7,000, the dial-a date, with me with whatever one-liners. And we put it on television for $20,000, $20,000. And that $20,000 generated $104,000 in 30 days. So you put $20,000 on the pass line in April of 1995, and you get a check in May for $104,000. And I remember walking to the bank, so my dreams and aspirations of show business and Hollywood flew out the window because I liked this cash. I couldn't believe it. And then we kept parlaying it, and that's how it happened.
Okay, we're going to pause you there because I need to review some things. First of all, because that was a lot, and that's a wild story, but Alex Amini, who was your co-host on After Hours before they fired you. Yes. Because she didn't get you.
But Alex was great. It was the producer that hated my guts.
The producer hated your guts. Okay, but am I right? So Alex Amini got to co-star with Mr. T during the day and David Bronstein during the night.
I think Mr. T was finished at the time.
Oh, I was going to ask if you ever got to meet Mr. T.
I met him when I first came out. I was doing extra work. Before I did any of this, I was also Al Pacino's stand-in on Sea of Love. I worked with him for 3 months. He's a great guy. But I met Mr. T when I was a stand-in, when I went to the set. I didn't even know Alex at the time. But he's a regular guy, Mr. T.
You say he's a regular guy, but I remember I was around in the 80s, okay? I saw, Rocky 3. That guy was larger than life to be in my buddies. Like, Mr. T was everything. I remember TNT.
Yes, but when I say regular guy, I meant when I saw him on the set.
Oh, yes. Okay.
He was a regular, an actor, a person. Yes.
A regular person. Okay. So we got all that. And by the way, just interesting coincidence. You mentioned Rita Zekas and Rob Salem. They're both in this basement next week. So I got to shout out Rob Salem and Rita Zekas. I'm going to ask them about your show.
They're wonderful. They would write about every film festival I would go to. Because when I did After Hours, they would take me to the Toronto Film Festival. It was the first time I was going. I didn't know anything about it. In 1989, that's when I did it. And since then, I was going to the Toronto Film Festival. And they always wrote about me every September, being at the parties and all that stuff. Rita was always great. And then after I did Sea of Love with Al Pacino, I wrote a script called Second Team. Because on a film set, the first team are the stars, the second team are the stand-ins. And I met with Rita, and she did a story on me, and Ellen Barkin was the other actress in it, called Second Team, and Rita Zekas. They were always wonderful to me, Rob and Rita, always wonderful to me.
I always had a thing for Ellen Barkin.
Yeah, she's very hot. Yeah, she's hot in that casino movie, Ocean's 13.
I just remember Barfly. Does that ring a bell? Barfly?
Yes.
But she was. Yeah, she's still gorgeous, of course. But
Yes.
okay, so
Funny, yeah.
now that I'm all flustered over here, okay, I'm gonna play a clip. But you did mention Young and Charles, and I just think that's wild because earlier today I was chatting with this. Well, he used to produce theater in this city. His name's Joel Greenberg. And he was telling me he's living at Bay and Bloor. And then I had to tell him I lived at 30 Charles Street West when I was going to university with my wife at the time. And that's Charles Street and Yonge. So I just think we should shout out the brass rail here.
Sure. Shout out the brass rail. It's a different, as you know, Young and Charles than when you and I remember Young and Charles.
Well, because when I was there, Uptown Theater was where you'd go. And I know that's long gone. So, yeah.
The movie theater, right?
Yeah, the Uptown. Yeah, it was right there. Like from my balcony, I could throw a rock and hit, the Uptown Theater.
I saw Twister there.
You know what? That sounds about right because I saw Saving Private Ryan there and a bunch of stuff, including that Billy Bob Thornton. What was it called? Sling Blade. I saw that there.
Yes. Isn't that nice?
I reckon I feel okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, terrific.
Hey, can I play a little clip here?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here we go. 16 seconds.
Hey, if you're single and love to party, don't touch that dial. You're about to meet some of the hottest and sexiest single women and men. And you can talk live on Dial a Date, the hottest way to connect. Starring the Prince of Love, David Bronstein.
That's you, the Prince of Love, David Bronstein. Okay, so you explained that this thing was it sounds like it was printing money. Like, can you give us some details on where it was filmed?
Yes.
Just give me some details on Dial a Date, because a lot of people, when they hear David Bronstein, they think about Dial a Date.
Yes. We shot it at the Limelight on Adelaide because they were great to us. And we had to shoot it in the afternoon because the music is so loud in the clubs, you wouldn't hear me. So we had to stage it in the afternoon. It was all scripted. The girls were hired to do shtick. Well, we paid the girls, but they would dance behind me without music. And then after we shot the one-liners and the girls think, I'm Sue, I like to go to the movies, I'm Jack, I'm an accountant, whatever they would say, I would come back at night and then do pickup shots when the club was actually happening so I could piece it together and then put all the music in. When I go to restaurants, people would say, don't you have to get to the club? They didn't know that it was taped. They thought I was actually there when it was happening.
Oh, right.
And then I shot in Los Angeles. I shot in Las Vegas. I could shoot in my basement with a mirror ball and flashing lights. Nobody would know the difference.
Oh, right. Right.
Many of the club owners always wanted me to come to their bars to promote their bars, which I did. And I didn't take any money. They didn't pay me to. I was thrilled that I had a place to shoot this crazy show. But we were spending $250,000 a month in airtime. We were running 150 times a week. Every time you flip the channel, I was on from 12:30, 1:32, 2:30, just kept buying. And we were getting checks from Bell Canada for $500,000 a month and $800,000 a month. So you put $250,000 on the pass line and you get a check for $800,000. All right, so that's the upside.
Yeah.
So now here's the challenge.
Okay, I'm ready.
After the first year, 95 to 96, in March of 97, I think it was, I got a state. We spent $250,000 in March of 97 on television. And in April, I get a statement that we owe Bell Canada $700,000. And they're not, the money I spent in March, the $250,000, I'm not getting in April. I threw $250,000 out the window. I'm not getting it back in April, and I owe them $700,000 because the guys that were calling the chat line was $50 a call for 15 minutes. Then the system would hang up. Then you have to call. You don't have to call back, but the guys were falling in love with our girls, and they wanted to talk. And it wasn't phone sex. My competitors thought it was phone sex, but it never was. Just lonely, and they wanted to talk. And they would bill in their phone bills $20,000 a month.
Wow.
$40,000 a month. And then they get their bill and they tell Bell Canada, I didn't call. It was my nephew, my cousin, my sister-in-law came over.
Oh, my God.
And they piled up all those charges into one statement. So they paid us a lot of money over the year or year and a half until we got this gigantic statement there. So that's what happened.
Okay, so $50 got you 15 minutes, and these are women, I think, 75 or so women who...
Yes.
Like, what did they make?
We paid them 25 cents a minute to chat because all my competitors had phone rooms, and they were paying the girls $6 an hour at that time to chat with guys when the guys would call. And the girls, if the phones weren't ringing in the phone rooms, the girls were reading a book, they're watching television, just sitting around waiting to get a call at $6 an hour. We don't want to throw that money away. So my business partner, who's much more technical than I am, came up with, when a guy calls the 900 number, it'll go into the system. The system will call the girl in her house. And when she gets a call, it'll say, this is dial-a-date calling. Press 1 to connect. And the system would track how many minutes she's on the phone for. And we were able to pay them 25 cents a minute, which is $15 an hour. So the girls were getting paid $15 an hour in 1995, 1996, 1997.
Yeah, now thinking back to what I was making at the at Food City at the Galleria Mall, I was making a lot less than that. That sounded like a good gig. So, and you're saying it wasn't sex, so I'm sure a lot of guys would call in and try to get her to sort of, talk sexy and all this.
Well, if the girls wanted to,
okay,
they could. We didn't give them scripts, but the reason that the call volume was so high is because if it was phone sex, the guy would hang up after 3 minutes or 30 seconds or whatever it is.
Right.
But the fact they kept calling back, these were their telephone girlfriends. And they could meet. I mean, it's a day line. You can meet the guys. We don't care. We didn't say you can't go out with anybody. We just needed girls on the line so the guys would always have somebody to talk to.
Okay, geez.
So that's how we paid them.
And that you get to a point where you're spending, $250,000, $90s dollars. Okay, that's when $1 million meant something. So you're spending $250,000 to air these spots 150 times a week. Everybody of a certain age remembers these dial-a-date infomercials. Like, you're a big deal to be the star of these things. But you're saying that because of this, hey, my little kid made that call, not me or whatever, Bell would reverse these charges. Correct. And then you'd get stuck with it. And so is that what kills dial-a-date?
So when we got that statement that night, the show was still airing, but we knew if any calls come in, we weren't going to get that money. Right. So we had to pull the 900 lines out of the wall. It was our we hired a media buyer who was working for Gray Advertising at the time to come work for us, and we were paying him. And a media buyer gets 15% of the buy. So if we're spending $250,000 a month, 15%, 10% would be $25,000, over $30,000 a month. I think he was making from us, and he set up his own company because of us. He's a wonderful guy. But that day, him and the other people in the office, we were pulling the phone lines out, and we're trying to put in lines where you can take credit card calls because the shows we're going to air were already booked. We didn't want to throw the money out the window. We already did. But we sued Bell Canada because they didn't, over the year or 2 years, however long it was, the chargeback should have been accruing. Every statement, you have 5%, 10%, 12%, but there were none until March of 1997. From 95 to 97, it was 100% cash.
Okay, I hope you stored some of that, like, under your bed or something, like...
Well, my business partner told me we made $6 million that year. Now, I don't know. I just know. You can say, how don't you know? Because I didn't know. It's a lot of cash was always there available.
You're like Tony Soprano.
Yes, and I remember he bought a Jeep and he bought a $3,000 suit. My business partner, and I said, a $3,000 suit? My kid's bar mitzvah, then I spent $400. If I spend $3,000 for a suit, I wear the tag on the lapel. I tell everybody, you see this suit? It's $3,000. But that's what he liked. And I like traveling with Andrea, the Bahamas, and having fun. So I'm a hedonist. So materialistic things, Rolex watches and Cadillacs, doesn't do it for me. I like to have fun. Disney World, Las Vegas, that's what I like to do.
I'm with you. Sometimes I wonder, like, if somebody said, hey, Mike, here's $5 million. I like what you do. I'm like, okay, I guess my kids are going to university now, and maybe I'll buy a nicer bicycle.
Whatever turns you on. Or, if you see my TikToks, I talk about the rich Starbucks. And I call it the rich Starbucks because all the cars there are Mercedes and Porsches and Maseratis. So that's why I say they're rich Starbucks. But a friend of mine who I was just messaging today has a Porsche, and he tells me the expense isn't spending $100,000 or $200,000 for the car. It's when you have to fix the car. That's where the expense comes in, which I didn't know. I wouldn't even know that because I don't drive those kind of high-end cars.
Well, a former boss of mine had a Porsche, and I remember him telling me that the headlight went out or something, which I had a Mazda Protege, and if my headlight went out, I can't remember now, but it was like $15 or something for a new bulb and whatever. And this Porsche, I remember him telling me it was $900 or something. This is going back now, but I remember thinking, oh yeah, like it's not about just buying this thing. It's maintaining this thing, which is now going to be $900 if a light goes out.
Did you think rich people know that when they buy this stuff?
Well, okay, Chris, so on that note, somebody else I remember telling me a story. They bought a luxury car, because I've only driven, shit boxes, but they had a luxury car, and then they asked like, oh, where's the light in the hood? And the person explained that, oh, when you buy this car, you don't change your own oil. Like you don't open the hood and do anything. Like that's not what. So like the whole notion that a luxury car owner would do their own oil changes, for example, that's ludicrous. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's interesting though that it's not always just about that initial money up front. It's like you got to carry this new lifestyle.
Carry the new life. You're absolutely right. I mean, the cars are beautiful. They're very luxurious.
Well, I wish you had one. You would have been here last week, and I could have given you fresh craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery and a frozen lasagna from Palma Pasta.
I'm still going to do whatever you said.
Well, first you have to find South Etobicoke on a map. I think that's the first. What neighborhood do you call home?
Lawrence and Bathurst.
So is it fair to say, like, do you ever get down to the lake?
You mean the Queen's Quay?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, in the summertime. Okay,
so just that harborfront core there, like you're not going to get to like, I don't know, the waterfront in Mimico or something.
I don't even know what Mimico is.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you about quickly because you just mentioned it briefly, but copycats, okay? So you struck oil here. For a brief time there, you're printing some money with Dial a Date. Can you just tell me, because I'm good friends with Ed Conroy, who writes as Retro Ontario. So I got a little insight into the most notorious knockoff of Dial a Date. But do you remember like what competitor tried the hardest to bust your styles? Of course, failing to capture the success like you did.
Was that Larry Horowitz?
So I don't know if Larry. Okay, there's a name. Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. But it's is he the guy behind the Dateline?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so the Dateline, this is from Retro Ontario, an FOTM Hall of Famer. I know you don't know what that means, but the Dateline was an attempt. Paris Black.
Oh, yes! Paris, a great guy. Yes, I knew Paris before I did that. Whatever I did.
Right.
Before I did Dial a Date, I knew Paris. He was a wonderful guy. And yes, I guess my competitors who are running 976 tried to emulate whatever I do. Yes, yeah, he's a wonderful guy, Paris. Yes.
And at this time, at the Dateline, Paris would do sort of a Rodney Dangerfield impersonation.
Oh, I vaguely remember that. Yes, was that during when I was doing my stuff?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you create this late night TV genre, if you will, as the Prince of Love.
Yes.
And you're so popular that producers say, hey, we need to like do a Kirkland brand version of this. And the Dateline emerges and Paris Black, and bless Paris Black's heart, of course, this is a character in this city and I need to get Paris over here. But like they couldn't capture whatever it is you had, that lightning in a bottle. They often imitated, but never duplicated.
It's funny that you say that lightning in a bottle. You're right. Whatever it is that I am or what I do or the shtick that I do, whatever I do, the character that they think I am or whatever I do on TikTok. And here's the crazy thing. My fans from late night television are my fans now on TikTok who grew up with me. And now their kids who are in high school and college are my fans. So Noah Biderman, who was the CEO of Ashley Madison. His kid, Abel, and all his rich friends, I call them the rich kids, they're all my fans. They're at college now. I'm from Philadelphia. We call it, Princeton College and Harvard College. You call it university. If you say college, I think you're an idiot.
Right.
But I call it all college. He calls me every day, Abel, Noel's kid, which I'm flattered. But I don't know why. I'm their Jerry Lewis. I'm this generation's Jerry Lewis. That's what it is.
But this genre, we'll call it this late night genre that you kind of invent here. This doesn't leave the 90s, right? Like the final gasp of all this is in the 1990s.
Yeah, yes. I mean, all I was doing was buying my way on television as an opportunity to perform, to be seen. Because in my world, somebody had to make you a star, see you in the theater, see you on television.
Right.
And that's why I was doing. And the only way I could perform as an actor is to do my Catskill routine and Catskill jokes,
Right.
which was an opportunity for me to perform and play that nutty character. And I always put the girls on a pedestal. I was always the dopey one. Hey, baby. Hey, good late. I was playing the role that I was chicken when I was in good clubs. I never had that confidence. Hey, good looking. Hey, but as the character, I could do that as an actor. So I did that in the clubs and made the girls the smart ones. Yeah, so it just so happened I was lucky enough, as you say, lightning in a bottle. That's what it was.
Well, I'm thinking the people at home watching, because I would watch at home, but I would never dare call it. Like I didn't pay the phone bill, and I was too afraid of what would happen if I,
Yes.
50, So anyway, I would watch these things, and what I think what you did successfully was that so I'm going to say the average Joe at home who's lonely sees this schmuck.
Yes.
Yeah,
correct.
you're just a guy. You're kind of a schmuck. You got the cheesy humor, and you've got the girls, and at home. If you're just a schmuck yourself at home, you're like, oh, I can call this number, and I can chat with pretty girls like that. Like I'm in, and then the rest is history.
That's correct. Nobody was doing it at the time. I've always been what's the word? Well, I like the Wright brothers. A visionary, or I'm great at seeing the future. My Achilles heel is putting the teams together to facilitate it. And even now, when I first saw Facebook, and it was called The Facebook,
Right.
And only college kids could get on it, and I was asking my kids about it, and they didn't even know about it. But I said, I got to get in on this. We got to create these and apps. I saw what was going on. It's the golden age of television. I thought this is an unbelievable opportunity. The internet, but it's putting the teams in raising money is easy for me. I can raise money on a handshake, but my VCs and investors, they know I'm not going to run the show. I'm not the business guy. I'm the Wizard of Oz. I'm P.T. Barnum. I need the management behind so I can do what I can do, and that's always very frustrating for me.
So today, 2026. If we want to see David Bronstein, you mentioned TikTok. So can you just shout out all the social media channels that you're currently pumping full of David Bronstein content?
So I'm on TikTok and Instagram and Threads and LinkedIn and Facebook. I should be on all the platforms, but my content is not monetized. And many times, I don't know if you see it, or I do that bagel joke. I'll have today's half-price bagels. I want to buy them today because I won't eat them till tomorrow, whatever I say. Many times my followers will say, you keep doing the same jokes. Why do you keep doing the same jokes? Here's why I keep doing the same jokes. And why do I do the same jokes? Here's why I do the same jokes. When I was in the Catskills, every week the same comics came up. And they had a star on a Saturday night, Jackie Mason or Jerry Lewis. But on the week was Catskill comics. And they never changed their routine I was there from 77 to 82. But every week, new audiences came up. So they didn't have to change their routine. Don Rickles never changed his routine. Jerry Lewis never changed their routine. Because there's always new audiences. So I learned that on TikTok, I could keep doing the same shtick when I'm at a store, because there are all new people watching me all the time. So my content, these creators it's a whole new world. And these creators are making $25,000 a day, $50,000 a day on TikTok Shop and social shopping, it's called. and creating content. Did you know Mr. Beast? He's a billionaire. You know,
Of course. I got kids too, man. I know Mr. Beast. Yes.
And my stuff is not monetized with pay-per-click and affiliate accounts and shopping links, and I'm losing money every day.
Well, so I'm just trying to get a taste of what you're up to. I'm gonna get back to the bagel place in a minute, but like, so you are, because I was asking Kire, like, I was just venting, man. Like, I'm like, my guest for 2:00, it's now 3:30, not here or whatever, and he's like, oh, he's probably live streaming his trek on TikTok. Like you're creating content all the time, right?
Well, yes. Well, my kid said to me, "Do you ever have any downtime?" He said, "Do you ever stop?" And he's right, because it's a performance. When I'm doing TikTok, I'm performing, and I don't write stuff. My followers say, "Where do you get your comedy or shtick?" Whatever they think I do, and I say, I open the front door, and there's my comedy. I don't have to write anything. It's just so nutty and cockamamie. When I go out shopping with Andrew, I go to York, wherever I go, I don't look for anything to do. I'm just there, and maybe I see something that doesn't make any sense to me, and it's illogical, and that's when I do TikTok.
But it sounds like the bagel shop's got you as a pitch man, where you'll, blow me off to do that gig, because of course that's a cash transaction. I totally respect that as a businessman. But like, so you're available to be a pitch man for products and services out there. So
here's the deal. So that was Bagel Plus. Can I give them a plug? Bagel.
You know what? You give them a plug, but then I get to do a plug after.
Yes. All right. Everyone go to Bagel Plus. Here's the deal. I just go to, people think, oh, they give you money and they pay you and they give you free food. I have to, when I go to Zorro's Steakhouse, I have to pay to walk in. They charge me for a glass of water. Nobody gives me shit when I go to these restaurants. I just go with Andrea. I like and I do shtick when I'm there. All right. But then the bagel joke, half-price bagels, I was doing they all have that sign, and it blew up, who knows why. And then Bagel Plus, the partners called me and said, we want to work with you, building Bagel Plus, and that's why I'm doing a lot of Bagel Plus, and I don't do the other restaurants I used to, because now they're paying me, and I say in my TikToks, they said, Dave, think of yourself as a partner in Bagel Plus. I said, terrific. Last week I sold it. So that's so when Bagel Plus called me that day,
right? Because
they've been great to me and discussing a much bigger play. And crumble cookies, right?
Maybe.
Crumble. Every 2 minutes, these entrepreneurs, these college dropouts are baking cookies and breads and bagels in their kitchen on Tuesday, and on Thursday they join the Billionaires Club. And Bagel Plus has the kitchens and has the restaurants and these kids are, so Crumble Cookies, two guys came up with an idea for cookies that were worth $4 billion. Cookies. So that's why I ran to Bagel Plus, which I'll never do when I'm on your show again, if you have me again.
Well, you can't find South Etobicoke anyways, so I'm glad we could Zoom this. But I'm also lucky, because we had a 2:00 today. This is January 28th. I'm lucky Bagel Plus didn't call you at like 1:30 and say, get your ass down here.
No. I explained to them what happened, and so that's the bagel one. Now here's the other great thing.
Yeah.
Do you know all these kids with their fashion brands? You know what's going with that?
Sort of. Like, educate me, but I know there are fashion brands out there. You can tell what a stylistic man I am. So another brand, and one more plug, I'll leave you alone. Lemonwood.ca, a beautiful fashion brand. There's 5 retail stores. Lemonwood.ca. You should check it out. That I'm also doing business with. Very high end. It's like the ladies that shop at the Beverly Hills Housewives would shop there at Lemonwood.ca. Okay, that's why I've never heard of them, because all right. And we're discussing my new company. It creates live shopping studios like we're doing for Lemonwood, so they can do live shopping, because Lemonwood is retail, and many of these retailers are going out of business because everything is online. And these kids that are doing TikTok shop on TikTok and creating their own fashion brands, hoodies and T-shirts, brands you never even heard of. Lemonwood has a huge, wealthy, is successful. These kids have put on a new hoodie, a new name, and they make $1 billion. Okay, so David, you got Bagel Plus and Lemonwood. So let me just counter that by telling people about recyclemyelectronics.ca. Because, David, if you have old cables, old devices, you don't go to the You don't throw them in the garbage so the chemicals end up in our landfill. You go to recyclemyelectronics.ca, put in your postal code, and then drop these off to be properly recycled. You got that?
Yeah, how's this? All your associates, you're telling me?
Yeah.
I'll pitch them all on my dime on TikTok to help any way I can.
All right, so here, take the list here. Great Lakes Brewery, which is brewed here in southern Etobicoke. Not that you know where that is, but it's fresh, delicious craft beer. Palma
Yes.
Pasta. So Palma Pasta, they're in Mississauga and Oakville, but people should go to palmapasta.com. There's a chap named Nick Iones who has a great podcast called Building Toronto Skyline. So much love to Nick Iones from Fusion Corp. Ridley Funeral Home, they actually sent over a measuring tape for you, David. You could use this on Dial-A-Date, I think. But
what am I going to do with that measuring stick?
I don't know, but I heard jokes in my Dial-A-Date research when I was reminding myself. A lot of, cut men jokes I noticed in the...
Oh, you're so... Jeez, did I do a joke like that?
Oh, yes, my friend. Hey, last but not least, I just would love to give a moment of love to, well, maybe that's everybody. It's actually a slow month, I realize, because I've been kind of busy. I could use a new one. So if Bagel Plus is listening or Lemonwood, give me a call. I want some of that action. Okay, David, is that okay? Or is that uncool?
Yeah, I will introduce. Yeah, I told them I'm coming on your show, and that's perfect.
Well, I love bagels. I don't think they have bagels at Palma Pasta. I don't think there's any conflict here. I think
no conflict.
No. And Lemonwood, I mean, someone's got to dress me, David.
Yeah, that's fantastic. They have great accessories, beautiful fashions. That's absolutely correct.
You had me at hello.
Lemonwood.ca. They're in Oakville also, lemonwood.ca.
Oh, I love it. Now, what about acting? Like, so is it just that when you're sort of like, what is it? I'd say like when Scorsese calls, I was going to say... I know. I won't aim that high, but basically, if Kire Paputt calls you, you'll do his films. But can anyone else, like, you do any other acting?
Yes, yes.
You're his De Niro, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I work with Robert De Niro too. I'm very lucky, and I know how lucky I am, and the celebrities I've worked with and met. But I compare Kire to the Safdie brothers. You know who they are?
Of course. One of them is nominated. There's a Best Picture nominee for one in that Timothée Chalamet movie.
Yes, correct. That's what I compare.
Okay.
Kire's
I like the Adam Sandler one with the gambling. What's called Uncut Gems.
Yes, that. When I saw that, I compared Junkie Run.
Yeah.
To that gritty, cockamamie, yes, nutty characters.
No, you're right. If they had Uncut Gems was filmed in Hamilton, Ontario.
Yes. Yes. But yes, I need an agent. I need a manager, an agent to get. I get brand deals now. TikTok sends me a whole bunch of brand deals.
Okay.
And I get agencies, but I have so much going on. I don't take the time. I need somebody to manage me.
Yeah.
And to monetize my content and David Bronstein celebrity merch. I'm losing to. I should have a podcast.
Well, I produce podcasts, but so I'm your guy if you want a podcast. But I can't. Yeah, you can't blow me off for a Bagel Plus deal.
I'm never going to do that again, Mike. Never blowing you off for a bagel.
So let me just remind, because we're winding down, and I consider you, David, one of the great characters in this city, and I'm so glad we could do this, and I want to thank Kire for connecting us. Even if you blew me off last week, we're doing it now. I'm a happy camper, but I want to tell everybody they can see here in Toronto at the Paradise Theatre, they can see Junkie Run, starring David Bronstein and a cast of characters. It is a 2-hour movie, and it's going to be 3 p.m. on Sunday, February 15th. This is a FOTM Gary Top presentation. And really quickly, this is how they describe the movie. A dark comedic chase film centered around a community of misfits at a local dive bar. When the regulars get word that Foggy, a local junkie, is on the run with a bag full of money from a botched drug deal, they each scheme, backstab, and claw at one another in order to be the first person to find Foggy and take the money. You're one of the great actors, the real characters in this film. The Avengers is how Kire described it all. And I hope Kire makes 1 million more movies, and I hope you're in each and every one of them.
You're very kind. Thank you very, very much.
Did you save any of that money, though, during the heyday of Dial-A-Date?
I want to tell you something. In my nutty world, I make a lot of money, and I make no money. And I make a lot of money, I blow it all, then I don't have any money, then I have to do it again. So It's a lot of fun. I'm a hedonist, so I like to have fun, and to have the fun I want to have, I need a lot of cash, and there's no safety net. You know, all my wife's friends, they all have inheritances. They have inheritance, waiting for their inheritance, and they're giving buildings and houses, and there's no rich uncle in my world. There never was. There's no. I walk a tight wire every day, but that's the choices that I've made. And but when I do come into big deals, it's a lot. It's fun. I like fun. It feels good. You know.
No, I get that. I get that. And I also get that whole there's no rich uncle who's going to leave me anything, because that's where I'm at. Like, I hear about these stories too. Oh, I just got to make it a couple more years, and then I know I'm going to inherit millions of dollars from my mom or my dad. And I'm like, must be nice. Like, I don't want anyone to die. Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. But geez, that's but can I ask you on the way out, since I was going to take a whole hour, I think I have a couple minutes here, but you're an American who has chosen to live in Canada.
All right, so here's the deal.
Yeah.
I came to Toronto, as I said, to become a big fish in a small pond. I was lucky enough to do after hours and doghouse and movies, whatever I did at the time. But then I had kids.
Yeah.
And I love being with the kids, and I love being with the family, and I love taking them to school and going bowling, going to the movies, and going to restaurants, and going on vacation. I loved all that. So I don't have any regrets that I got to go to Hollywood and become a big star. I would have missed all that, and then I would have had regrets. So I don't have any regrets about my career or show business, because I've always been performing in the Catskills and then on television. I'm always performing now. So what was the question?
Well, yeah, I haven't actually got to the question yet. The question is, how do you personally feel about the fact that Donald Trump, president of the United States, is threatening to, I don't know what to call it anymore, annex, invade, take over this sovereign nation of ours? Like, how does that feel as an American living in Toronto?
Donald, I love billionaires. So Donald Trump is a billionaire. He wins. He has to win, as you said on that show, The Apprentice. He hates quitters or something. You have to win. And the fact that he got to presidency, we should all aspire to win and to fight and to bust through the obstacles. Because, as I say, it's real hard getting rich. It's hard. Everything is easy. Making money is hard. And it's easy settling for a lifestyle you don't want. And I have friends, associates, they watch television all day. And when Andrea wants to go to, what's that restaurant? I can never remember the name of it. Hamburgers are $200 or something like that.
Morton's? I don't know. One of those Ruth's Chris's Steakhouse? What are we talking about?
And they say, I'm not going there. But then I know people that fly on private jets. So here's the answer to your question.
Right.
He's P.T. Barnum. That's what he is. And he has a platform, he has a show. So the political crap, whatever is going on, it's all a show to me. So that's all.
Okay, well,
it's entertainment to me. It's entertainment.
Okay, what's your wife telling you there? What's she saying to you?
Who knows?
Tell her I need to talk to her now. I need to talk to someone sane in that house. Put her on.
You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. Someone sane.
All right, David, thanks for doing this. You're now an FOTM. That's Friend of Toronto Mike. I'm so glad we could do this. And at some point, I got to actually meet you, man, so we could take a selfie together.
Well, are you ever in Toronto?
I live in Toronto. Well, I don't know how to tell you this. This is going to be a mind blow. You ready?
Yeah.
South Etobicoke is now part of Toronto.
What was it before?
It was Etobicoke. Like until 98. Until 98, we had our own mayor. Well, I wasn't even here then. I only came here 12 years ago. But all the boroughs had their own mayor until 98. And then with Mel Lastman, it was all like amalgamated. And now you got the mega city. Etobicoke is now part of Toronto.
So when I get close to you, if I'm in Mississauga, is that close to you?
No, well, Mississauga's close to me. Sure, yeah, that's close.
When I go to the hockey game, is that close to you?
Hockey game is downtown, so now you're not that close anymore. But
Mississauga's close.
Mississauga's pretty close.
All right, so when I go to Mississauga, I should call you.
Yeah, let me know when you're going to Mississauga. I'll bike over to meet the legend that is David Bronstein.
I will let you know. As we get closer to wherever I'm going with Andrea, which is I'm always with Andrea, so I'll say, am I close to Etobicoke? That's what I have to say,
yes.
right?
Just say, am I close to South Etobicoke, and she'll let you know.
Fine. Because that day I was supposed to do it, at 3 o'clock, I was on Islington.
Yeah.
At 3 o'clock.
Now you're on your way south to where we reside here. Absolutely. But listen, we're going to do that. But thanks again, and good luck with. I hope Junkie Run wins all the Oscars next year.
You're very, very kind. Thank you. And please text me all your sponsors.
Okay.
And I will do pitch videos for all of them.
Oh, I'll do that for sure. And can I just hear you on the way out? Can you say shout out to Ridley Funeral Home?
Yes. Everyone, I want to do a shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. You got to go to Ridley, when you're dead or alive, go to Ridley Funeral Home. It's private, confidential, one-on-one on the screen. Get to Ridley Funeral Home. Tell your family, go now. Why wait till the last minute?
And that brings us to the end of our 1,839th show. Go to torontomike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. And much love to all who made this possible. That's Great Lakes Brewery, Palma Pasta, Nick Iones from Fusion Corp, RecycleMyElectronics.ca, and Ridley Funeral Home. See you tomorrow when Michelle McAdory visits the TMDS Basement Studio.